Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 5 o'clock. It's time for chemistry. We're just going live. I'm just checking in, basically, just to basically see how you guys are getting on with your revision for A-level chemistry. And Dexter's interested as well, apparently. Yeah, there we go. Hello to anybody that's watching. Make sure you say hi in the chat. Okay. Oh, I got a bit of feedback from myself. Who have we got with me? Is it Horgy or Horge? How are we doing? What's the web class on later today? From Broken Matt Hardy. It's on titration. So what was requested last week was more titration stuff. So year one, we're going to be doing just like acid-base titrations. I've got a great like KC titration, would you believe? So they merged like acid-base titration with a KC. And then year twos, we're looking at some redox titrations, but we're not just going to do questions. We're going to talk about the common things that come up. We're going to talk about the like the errors involved in these as well, because nowadays in the exams, they love asking you about where errors creep in and stuff like that. Okay. So, hey, Nikolai, what are we deleting? What are we deleting, Orgy? So if you guys have got any questions, basically I'm here to give you some news about TT and what's going on at the moment with us and what's going on in the chemistry course. Can we go over buffer calculations in the web class? We're not going to do buffer calculations tonight, but it's certainly something we can definitely cover over the next couple of weeks or next few weeks, certainly. I mean, basically, you know, I've planned certain web classes, but if there's some really strong feeling that, you know, people want some buffer calculations, I'll ask the question tonight, that's for sure. But in terms of buffer calculations, I mean, there's only kind of like three types, really. One, find the pH of a buffer whereby, you know, you're mixing a weak acid. Weak acid and a strong base. Maybe there's a buffer calculation whereby you've got a buffer and then you've added something to it. So maybe a metal, or you've added some more sodium hydroxide to it or something like that. And that changes, doesn't it? What it reacts with in there changes. So there's only 2 or 3 different types of buffer calculations. So Chelsea, what's this video on? It's basically me just checking in with my chemistry peeps just to see how you're going with your revision. If there's anything in particular you're really struggling with, I can give you some nuggets of information. It's not really for teaching per se. This is just to kind of get you on the straight and narrow, give you a few hints and tips with some different things that maybe you're struggling with. And just to let you know what's going on in TT World. What's going on in TT World, actually, while I'm on it, is Monday we had a massive live class. Myself, Rich and Ronnie sat here for over an hour, basically talking you through how our ultimate guide and revision kit can help you improve a grade. Over the next 4 weeks, you can actually improve a grade by following our TT method. Now, Rich has got a couple of playlists on YouTube at the moment talking you through how to use our revision kit and how to improve by that grade in the next 4 weeks. Got chemistry and maths ones coming up this week, very, very shortly following on from that. Essentially, the trick is this, all right? It's not a massive secret, but essentially what you should be doing is doing a full past paper or at least a question in timed conditions, okay? Absolutely closed book, whatever's in your brain, you give it a go, okay? And then in our revision kit, what we've got is like a walkthrough and all the ultimate guide videos based on that topic. Now, if you watch those, okay, and then attempt the paper again, you will improve. 100% you'll improve. And of course, you know, by looking at those particular questions and using the mark scheme to mark it and so on, you think, well, yeah, I've seen the mark scheme now. Of course, I'm going to improve. But it's about the knowledge that's contained within those questions. It's not about doing that particular question. It's about using the knowledge for that particular question, because you know what? The examiners, I hate to kind of cast aspersions and just generalize, but they're pretty lazy. If you look across the years, you'll find really similar buffer calculations, really similar questions on bonding, really similar questions on Born-Haber cycles in terms of chemistry. So just because they change the names of the compound doesn't mean the questions are any different, really, does it? Let's do it. Chemistry, the Gaming Jedi. Hey, any chemistry tips on revising organic? You've helped me a lot. I've completed 8% of topics. That's awesome. I'm so pleased that you're finding the course really, really useful. My Padawan. I can call you a Padawan, I suppose, can't I? Yeah, I think in terms of organic, it's tough. There's a lot to learn in there. I mean, chemistry is like a huge part of it that's application, but there's also huge parts of it whereby it's just a memory game, and organic is one of those things. So 2 things, right? One, there's my organic chemistry cheat sheet that's in the ultimate guide. under the organic synthesis section, and it's basically just a PDF with all the different links in between all the different types of molecules and the types of reaction and the reagents and conditions. Like everything's on there, one piece of A4. Okay, now there's also a blank one in there. What you need to do is make sure you make those neural pathways between, say, an alkene and an alcohol and a carboxylic acid and an ester, and so on and so forth, by actually using that blank sheet, not just copying the full complete one, but actually giving it a go and completing it, from memory. All right, and then you compare it to the completed one and see which bits you missed, and make sure that, okay, make a note of those. Right, I know that's electrophilic substitution now, I should do that. Okay, scrap the first attempt, do it again, and just keep doing that until you can basically regurgitate the whole thing. Okay, it happens quicker than you think. There's a lot in there, but once you make those links, those pathways, and you'll end up seeing it in your mind in the exam. Right, okay, my alkene's top left hand corner, and my haloalkane is in the middle at the top. Okay, and the link in between is HBr or BR2 or whatever it is in terms of electrophilic addition. So it really, really helps. Okay, and on there you've got all the mechanisms that you need to know with a little M in a circle. The mechanisms aren't on there because there's just definitely no room for that, but they are there to let you know those are the mechanisms that you need to know. So that is the best way to learn it. Flashcards, no good, because you're not making links, are you, between functional groups. So using that cheat sheet, definitely the best way forward. Okay, Nathan, we've got the analysis part of your practical exam on Friday. Do you have any ideas what could be included? Which exam board is this, Nathan? Which exam board are you doing? I know WJEC was today, I think. Yes, WJEC was today. They actually still do a practical exam in Wales. So I can't say what's going to be on it. I mean, in terms of the specified practicals you have for your exam board, it's going to be one of those, or, a play on one of those. And there's only like 12 key ones really that it could be on. Okay. Yes, Nathan. Right. Okay, that makes sense. So you're going to be doing the Unit 5 one. Well, the Unit 5 exam for WJEC, of course, last year it was only like 4 questions. A year before that, it was only like 5 questions. So, you know what? I mean, as long as you've got your practical booklet, you should have a booklet with those 12 specified practicals in. They're going to be based on that theme. So it could be inorganic identification, or organic identification. So those two, tend to feature somewhere in there. So knowing your tests for ions and tests for organic molecules. Redox titrations are a firm favorite, and so are enthalpy practicals. So if you want to do something between now and Friday, testing for ions, testing for functional groups, enthalpy pracs, and redox titrations. Okay, everything else you will be fine with, I promise you. Okay, prediction for OCR paper 1. I'm glad you mentioned predictions, because on Monday, okay, next week, I will be sat here giving you my, in inverted commas, predictions for the exams. Okay, so for all 3 exam boards, OCR, AQA, and EdXL, it's difficult because, I mean, do you think topics are going to come up that have come up every year so far? Or do we think that topics are going to come up because they haven't come up in every year so far? So it's really, really quite tough. I just realized that I'm showing a lot of wall. Anyway, so yeah, Monday is for predictions. Okay, so Monday at 6 p.m. I'll be checking in. We'll be talking predictions. We'll be talking, other really important, well, basically the really important topics that you need to make sure you can nail, because they're the ones that come up regularly as well. So yeah, we'll be doing that on Monday. Our prediction is normally very close to the real thing. I mean, it's tough, isn't it? Like I say, I mean, look, it's still a very new spec. This is only the 3rd round of exams. We've got 2017 and 2018, of course, that have happened. I mean, there's certain things that I know haven't come up yet. Like in AQA, they haven't focused on fuel cells at all yet, I don't think, in the last 2 exams for AQA. So you could argue that it's going to come up this year, but then again, why not put something in that's been in every year? So like I said, there are certain things that are absolutely nailed on that are going to be in your exam. We're going to be talking about those on Monday, so we're going to give anything away here, so that if you want to check in at 6 p.m. on Monday, I'm going to be live on YouTube again on Monday, and I'm going to be going through my predictions. Now, speaking of which, that kind of follows on from the class that we did this week. In this session on Wednesday next week, I'm going to be announcing a winner. Someone who bought the course between last Monday and this Monday. Okay, so if anybody's bought a chemistry course, it could be a combo course, could be a revision kit, it could be just the ultimate guide in chemistry. If you've bought that in the last week, I'm going to be giving somebody the opportunity to basically win it for free. Okay, so we're going to give you all your money back, and we're going to let you, continue your subscription right the way through exams. Not only will we give you your money back, but we'll also give you the same amount of money on top as well. So it might be that your parents have helped you pay for it, or maybe your parents have paid for it for you. They're getting the money back. Okay, but what we're doing is we're giving the same amount back to you as well, because we want you to spend it on something awesome for the summer, because you worked hard and you deserve a reward. So that's what we're doing. Anybody that's bought the course between last Monday and this Monday night, on Wednesday next week, this time next week, I'm going to be saying who has won that. Okay. So would love to hear what you think, sir, regarding my questions. Once again, that's all right. That's all right. No problem at all, Padawan. So, like I said, open house, any questions, that's fine. But, if nobody's got any questions, I'll talk to you about this technique for revision over the next 4 weeks, which we were talking about on Monday. So Garema, apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong, or Garema. Best way to revise at this point, it's certainly based around past paper questions. Okay, so the TT method is this. Okay, I would say at this point you want to be basically exam training. Okay, you want to be exam fit. So what you need to be doing is making sure you sit down, you do a whole paper from cover to cover, closed book, time conditions. Okay, make sure you sit there and do that. And I would do so 3 papers. Do paper 1 on a morning, paper 2 in the afternoon, and paper 3 the following morning. So don't do 3 in a day. Just do, or maybe if you want to, you can do 3 in a day, but maybe do 3 over like a day and a half. And then what I want you to do is go using the revision kit, is go through those questions with me as I'm going through the mark scheme, because reading the mark schemes is just dire. It's a nightmare. You have to figure them out half the time, don't you? But if you use a revision kit, you can use me talking through that mark scheme and giving you hints and tips on how to mark it and what they mean in different aspects of the mark scheme. Now, at that point, once you've done that, you need to highlight the really important points that you haven't got. Okay, so maybe it was a flaw in your method for a KP calculation. Maybe you weren't using the right key terms when it comes to explaining some intermolecular forces questions or something like that. You want to make a list for a paper 1, a paper 2, and a paper 3 list. What you need to do then is go away, and that's what you revise. You look at the key terms that you need to use. You bone up on those topics. Okay, and then what you do, and this is really, really key, once you've revised those topics using action hours that we talk about in the revision kit, okay, you go back and you do the same papers again. Now you might think, well, I've already done it. All right, what's the point in that? I've already done that paper. It's dead to me now. No way is that paper dead to you, because it's the principles involved in those questions that you're revising. Yes, that question is going to be familiar to you, but that doesn't matter. Okay, you do that paper again and you will see an improvement, not because you've seen the paper again, but because you're better at recalling the information that question's about. Okay, don't fool yourself into thinking you're just revising that paper. You're not. Okay, so that method there, do the paper, analyze it, okay, using the mark schemes, the video mark schemes in the revision kit, and then focus on those topics and then do that paper again. So that's what you want to be doing, the 2017 and 2018 for the 2017 and 2018 papers. Okay, so that should be the basis of your revision. Of course, then if there's topics that maybe they don't focus on, there's questions that aren't on in those papers, then of course you need to just do a few action hours on those. The other thing you can be doing is using the Revise with Rich section in the revision kit as well. Okay, I say every day, Monday to Friday, I give you an action hour on something that's fundamentally important for your revision and what's going to be on the exam. So I'm giving you other things to do as well. Okay, so we've got you. Okay, you can trust me to kind of hold your hand through this and walk you through this. And of course, if you got access to the ultimate guide or revision kit, you can be asking me questions if you don't understand a particular question as well. KP question was hard. Yeah, absolutely. What if you don't the topics coming up in the paper? Well, we don't know the topics that are coming up in a paper. I mean, not every topic's going to be questioned, is it? But like I said, my predictions are going to go some way to give you an idea as to what sorts of things to expect. Okay, what are the likely things to come up? I don't want any angry emails if some of those things don't come up. This is a, there's a health warning attached to it. But like I said, the best things you can do is just get into the zone and focus on those 2017 and 2018 papers. When were we going over past papers, Garima? So in my web classes, I think the 2 weeks on the run up to the exams, or maybe 3 weeks, mind you, that's not very long, is it? But maybe 2 weeks running up to the exams, I'm going to be splitting off the web class into the AQA, Edexcel, and OCR specifically, and talking through exam papers about what to expect and so on and so forth. So I'll be doing triple web classes on the run up to those exams. Okay. So yeah, we'll be doing a paper 1, then a paper 2, then a paper 3. Okay, so how can I do the hard and mole calc questions? It is just, I tell you what, I'm doing some titration questions tonight in my web class. And one of the major points I'm going to be putting across in that web class is it's not just about the calculations. It's about seeing a path through. It's about taking the whole picture. What is that student, because it's always a student, trying to do in that titration question? Is it a back titration? Is it a double titration? What type of titration is it? I'm going to be talking about those. It's about seeing the whole picture. That's how you get through the big mole calcs. Okay. You think, okay, this is the information I've got, and then this is what I need to answer. Maybe I need to find a percentage purity. Well, if I'm going to find a percentage by mass, then I need to know the mass. Now, the only way I'm going to find the mass is by finding the number of moles of it. Well, how do I get the number of moles of that? Oh, okay, there's a titration there with an equation where I can use a bit of stoichiometry. So sometimes working backwards helps as well in these big mole calculations. But as I say, the most important thing is seeing the big picture. What are you trying to achieve? Because otherwise, if you get, we've all done it. We've all got lost halfway through a mole calculation. Like, well, where do I go from here? Okay, so it's about looking at the big picture. I promise you, if you take a step back and just make a note on one side, right? Well, this is the information I've got. This is what they're trying to achieve. So you can see a path through. Once you've got that path, then the mole calcs are easy, because at the end of the day, the only mole calcs you've got are number of moles equals mass over molar mass, and number of moles equals concentration times volume, and a bit of stoichiometry. Those are the 3 things you need. Those are the only 3 things you need really to get through mole calcs, aren't they? So that's my answer. So Rushi, that was my answer to that. And in revision kick videos, you go through all the new spec past paper questions, or is there just a selection of particular questions? Book a girl, every single new spec question. Okay, so from the specimen, from the 2017 and from the 2018, every single question in every single exam board paper has got 3 videos: an analysis where I give you a clue as to what the question's about and how to attack it if you're not sure. Then I go through my answers. I did them closed book, timed conditions. All right, so they're just my honest answers. I'm not like some other people on YouTube you might see just basically copying the mark scheme. Well, that's not really very useful, is it? So my thought process is all live and going into that, and then me talking through the mark scheme. Okay, so 3 videos in there in the revision kit for each question. And we've also curated, so if you're an AQA student, we've curated, well, I've curated all of the OCR and Edexcel papers for you, basically redacted, so blanked out all the irrelevant questions. So all the relevant questions for you, those are in the revision kit as well. So you can see those, and we've organized them not only by paper, but by topic as well. So all the enthalpy stuff is in one place, all the pH stuff is in another place, and all your level of response questions, the big 6 markers that nobody likes, then basically they're all there as well. And I've got a section just for big calculations. So yeah, we've really organized it into what I think is the most useful format for you guys. Is it difficult to deliver? The paper is going to be similar to last year's for AQA. You know what? They always try and, keep it on a level. Okay, there's going to be some harder questions in there. There's going to be some more straightforward questions in there. But the thing is, don't worry about the difficulty of the paper. It's not your concern, because what they do is they mark everybody's. Okay, they look at the top, I don't know, 5-6%, they all get A stars. The next percentage, they get A's, okay, because we got this bell-shaped curve, so they set the grade boundaries based on the marks. So if it's a really hard paper, all the grade boundaries are just going to be shifted down because everybody will find it hard, right? Okay, so your trick is being in that top percentage, isn't it? beating the rest of the students. You're not looking to beat the examiner, you're looking to beat the rest of the students in your cohort. That's it. And dare I say, if you're a TT student, you're using this revision kit, you've got an advantage. Okay, you have got an advantage. Gaming Jedi, as in like content wise, if there's a topic that comes up doing a practice paper and I don't know it, what should you do? No, you should not stop. Okay, you should basically have a go, rack your brain in that time conditions and just get down whatever you can, because that's what you're going to have to do in an exam, right? So you don't stop and look it up. You do a full past paper, cover to cover, timed conditions. And even if you finish before the time's up, you go back and you look for mistakes. How can I put this? Ronnie taught me this, right? And I think it's a genius idea. Don't go back and check your answers, okay? Because you're going to agree with everything you've written, okay? What you need to do is take a different mindset to it when you're checking your paper, whether it's now or in the real thing. You need to actually say to yourself, right, somewhere in here, in this paper, are 5 mistakes, and I'm going to find them. I'm going to find those 5 mistakes. I'm going to find those 5 things maybe that I've missed out or not said, or maybe I can crowbar an extra keyword in this explanation here or something like that. So go back and you will find 5 things, and that could be 5 marks, and that's halfway to going up a grade boundary, right? That's huge. So take that mindset, but do not stop if you don't know it. Get down what you can, okay? What you think is going to get you marks. And then obviously that's going to come to light when you mark the paper, and that's going to be something you need to work on. So that's my answer to you, Gaming Jedi. I didn't even know back. Oh, right. Yeah. Back titrations. I think that's what you mean, Booker Girl. Back titrations. So where you take a reaction. So there's a reaction where, say, sodium hydroxide is added to something in excess, and then that's made up to a certain volume, and then you titer. So it's like a 2-step titration. You've got reaction 1, and then reaction 2 is the titration. So it's, identifying these is so important. And hopefully by knowing that, Booker Girl, and you can see what type of titration is lying in front of you on the question paper, you're like, oh, I know how this goes, I know the story, and then it makes it much more clear. It really does. Okay. So, Rishi, what time and where is tonight's live stream? So my live web class is at 6 p.m. You need to register for it. So you need to be an Ultimate Guide subscriber. You need to register for it within the Ultimate Guide in the live web class section. And the last call, I'm going to be pressing the button at like 2:45 or 10 to 6. After that, I'm not letting any more people in. Okay, so you need to register for it. And you need to use the same email address as your subscription. That's really important. So this live session, Kazuto, welcome. Brilliant. You've only just found us, but it is not too late. So I'm just talking about our revision kit and our method. If you want to know more, okay, I haven't really got time now. I've only got like 5-6 minutes left. But if you want to know more, we had a massive live stream on Monday where we talked about our revision kit and our Ultimate Guide and basically how to improve by a grade or 2 in the next 4 weeks. So what I recommend is your best thing now to find out about us, Kazuto, is basically just to go and watch that live stream. Okay, it's in there. Click on our channel and you'll find that under live streams. It was from Monday. Okay, it's from Monday. So Gaming Jedi, what I'm just doing past paper, I don't know the topic well enough to answer the question, what should you do? Well, you're going to have to, how can I put it? You know something about every topic, Gaming Jedi, so you can get something down, okay? But just like I said, never stop. What you should be doing now is being exam fit, exam training, and just treating it like you would in the real thing. So you can't stop and check TT or check your textbook or anything like that during the exam. So you shouldn't be doing that now when you're having to go of exam questions, because it's not about like filling in blanks as you go. It's about knowing what those blanks are and then working on those. But just by looking up an answer, that's not helping you in any way whatsoever, okay? You're like, oh, right, okay, I get that, but you're not revising it, are you? You're not training your brain to recall that information. So don't do that. Make sure you basically mark it, highlight it as an area of weakness, and then work on it specifically using action hours and other techniques. And then when you go back and do that question again, do the paper the second time, that's when you're creating those neural pathways and you're actually learning something, okay? So that's what you need to do. Wow. It's Nico. Thanks for answering. TT has helped me a lot already, from E to a B at the moment. You really need an A. Well, you know what? that progress you've made is absolutely stunning. I'm so pleased to hear that. And E to a B is absolutely amazing. Now, who's to say you can't actually go one step further? I mean, E to C, E to D to C to B. I mean, that's huge. One more step, all right? And just by using that method I've been talking about, it's going to get you there. The last bit is probably down to exam technique. Nobody gets a B without knowing their content, okay? So now it's just about exam technique and training for that exam. Thank you. I'm going to just for you going to get the bundle deal. Oh, Gaming Jedi, don't do it for me. We're doing it for you. All right, we're doing it for you. I mean, okay, I need to keep a roof over my head. That's fine. But you know what? I mean, that's why I'm here 5 o'clock. So I just want to get in touch with students and find out what's helpful to you guys. Okay, so so yeah, that's why I'm here. But yeah, great. If you want to get a bundle, that's awesome. I promise you, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. Okay. Okay. So Kazuta, I'm currently at ABB with my most recent papers. Need an A-star AA. 3 weeks left of the exams. Okay. Is your goal possible? There is no reason why that goal isn't possible. Basically, that's 1 grade up for those 3 different subjects, isn't it? And as I was just saying to Gaming Jedi, it's about exam technique, half of it, okay? If you're getting ABB, your content's pretty spot on, right? It's got to be to get ABB, but there are, right, who here has actually done a paper and they've marked it and they've looked at it and you're like, duh, like, why did I write that? Oh, I've lost a mark here because I didn't put the right units on, or I didn't use the right significant figures, or 10.5 suddenly turned into 10.3 doing a calculation, or I didn't use the term electrostatic attractions when I was talking about ionic bonding. So really key little things. Everyone's done it. I've done it. You'll see that in some of the questions actually I've done on the papers. Silly little mistakes. And by exam training and getting exam fit, you won't make those mistakes. And that could be the difference between 1 grade and another. All right. So use that method. I think the revision kit, if you ABB, your content's spot on, look at getting the revision kit. And I promise you, it will help train you up on that exam technique. Okay. Oh, cool. Kazuto. So that's what made you interested in Tailored Tutors. Brilliant. I'm glad you like the videos on here already. Brilliant. Yeah. So try that method on the PDF. It's going to work. I promise you it's going to work. That's awesome. Kermit, still have content left. Organic A2, struggling not as retaking. You're not going to fail again. All right. You are not going to fail. I promise you that, Kermit. Okay. If you've been working all year on this, you're not going to fail. So organic, I was just talking about before, actually, best way to revise organic, use that cheat sheet in the ultimate guide. Print off the full one, print off maybe a dozen copies of the blank one, and just see if you can regurgitate it from memory. Okay. You know, really rack your brain, spend a good half an hour trying to regurgitate it, and then see where your gaps are. Okay. Make a note of those gaps, scrap your first attempt, and try it again, and keep doing that until you make all those pathways and all those links between every single functional group. I promise you, it will help you in the exam. You'll have this like a little encyclopedia in your head of all the different types of reaction, of the tests for each molecule, of the reagents and conditions needed for each conversion. It's going to work. I promise you it'll work. It's hard. You've got to do the hard yards right now, guys. 3 or 4 weeks to go, but it's going to work. I promise you that. Okay. Hacks and games. My exams are in 3 weeks and I'm working at a grade U, no joke. Just cramming is what I'm trying to do. Would it work? Cramming, no. I'll tell you what, the worst thing you can do, hacks and games, is just try and put more information in your brain. Okay. You want to practice pulling information out now by doing past papers, as I was just saying before. Okay. Do full past papers. Okay. And then see what your gaps are. And then, like I said, ultimate guide, revision kit, use those to learn the content that you fluffed up on during those papers, and then go back and do that paper again. A, it helps build your confidence, and B, you get to learn like the pattern you need to use, the key terms, the method in the calculation, all those things which you will be able to apply in the exam. If you do that, guaranteed you will not get a U. I guarantee you will not get a U. Okay, if you do that over the next, do not cram. It's all about exam technique. I promise you. Okay. Hashtag sales pitch warning. Revision kit. You get the revision kit. I go through all the techniques that work and all the techniques that don't. With 3 weeks to go, you want to make sure that what you're doing is actually working. All right. And there's so many students out there wasting their time kind of making, I'm gonna get my high horse now, all right? Because on Insta and stuff, I see all the time people producing these beautiful A3 pages. Oh, look at alkenes, and I've got all nice calligraphy on it, and it's beautiful colors, and I put little clouds around each thing. It's probably taken them half a day of their life, but actually, what have they learned? Are you going to be assessed on how pretty your answers are in the exam? No, you're not. Okay, it's about getting that information down on the page. So do the hard yards. Check out the revision kit. I promise you, Hacks and Games. All right, it will help you, and I guarantee you will improve. 100% you will improve. Garima, you can still register for tonight's web class. I'm going to be pressing the button at about 10 to, so you got 20 minutes, and yeah, absolutely more than welcome. We're going to be doing some titrations. So right, I'm going to be wrapping up in a second, but yeah, Booker Girl, yeah, you're absolutely right there. No, free trial does not do that, Luca. Okay, free trial does not do that. You've got the free trial. It's not going to charge you at all. Okay, but obviously, if you do buy into a subscription, it will tick over next month. So the same day you buy it. So if you bought it today, you get charged again on the 8th of June. Okay, so that's how it works. You're not the worst at chemistry. I've met people who are the worst at chemistry, Manisha, and it's not you, okay? How do you know the catalyst for reactions? Flashcards, all right? They're really good. All that sort of naming stuff, that memory stuff, flashcards are really, really good. Draw stupid pictures on, so you've got like a visual cue as well. Really, really helps with flashcards, little insight as to what's in the revision kit there. Whoa, it annoys me when people waste time on that. Yeah, it is about technique, Pierre. You're absolutely right. Kazuto. So starting a 6-marker question, planning. Absolutely planning. Okay. I'm going to be doing a web class on that in the next couple of weeks and how we go about these 6-marker questions. In fact, we did do one a couple of weeks ago as well, but I'm going to talk to you about planning those because obviously, you know, you want to plan them, you'll get 6 marks. Okay. Or 5 marks. All right. Guaranteed. If you don't, you just go head first in, you're going to lose yourself in that question. All right. So, Nathan Jones, if W say it's worth getting the revision kit for my, Gaming Jedi, the PDF, sorry, I should say, the PDF, if you go to Monday's live that we did, underneath in the description, there are PDFs, and you can use those to see what the revision kit can do for you. And that goes for you as well. Who was I talking to before? Hacks and Games. Okay, go to that other live that we did on Monday. Check out the PDFs underneath, and there's a load of free content in there for you to have a look at. Okay, so awesome. Gaming Jedi, welcome aboard. You won't regret it. I promise you that. Okay, WJC Nathan, if you're going to subscribe to any revision kit, I would subscribe to the AQA one. Okay, because, you know, again, I mean, then it's not tailored to WJC, but just going through those types of questions will help you. I promise. I promise. 100%. Okay, so AQA is the way forward for you there. Right, I am going to have to go because I need to get a cup of tea and I need to basically make sure I don't lose my voice before my web class. Okay. The revision kit will help you with those 6-marker questions. I promise you, Kazuto. Okay, I go through the technique. I go through every 6-marker that's ever been for any exam board in this new spec is in one section in the revision kit. And I go through every single one, breaking it down, planning it, and how you answer it. And trust me, you'll get the idea. Okay. Who watches Game of Thrones? That'll be me, but we're not going to talk about that because I'm going to go now. I'm going to go to my live class. So it's not too late to register. If you're an Ultimate Guide subscriber, I will see you in there. I'll click the button at 10 to for last registrations. If not, I will see you next Monday for exam predictions. All right, exam predictions on Monday. And don't forget, anybody that buys any sort of chemistry course, whether it's a bundle or a revision kit or anything like that, between now and Monday night, okay, on Wednesday next week, this time next week, I'm going to be giving somebody their money back and doubling their money, basically, and giving them that back. There was a competition we're running on Monday, so I'll announce that winner next Wednesday. So 6 o'clock for the prediction. 6 o'clock for the prediction, and yeah, that's that. And I will see some of you in 25 minutes time, and I'll see the rest of you in a week's time. Take it easy, guys.